There are almost 200 countries here on Earth, and Coke is sold in almost all of them. Press F in the chat for Cuba and North Korea. They are the only two countries without Coke. Since its inception as a medicine in 1885, Coca Cola has come to dominate the global soft drink market in the 20th and 21st century. It is today the sixth most valuable brand in the world. The incredible success of Coca Cola has spawned a whole class of imitators, creating a whole classification of soft drinks, colas. This means that the second half of the name cola has become a proprietary eponym. This means that the name, which was used to refer to a specific brand, now refers to a whole class of products. In the south of the United States, Coke has also become a proprietary eponym, referring to all soft drinks, not just colas. Today, companies work hard to prevent this kind of generalization, lest their valuable brands experience trademark erosion and become genericized, preventing them from using their trademark. But Coke has managed to do both, achieve widespread brand recognition and market domination without diluting its iconic image, or losing trademark status of its name. Coke's various ad campaigns over the years have convinced us that not only is Coke the drink for hot summer days, somehow also it's what Santa drinks at Christmas time. We have been convinced that whether you are working or relaxing, it is time for a Coke. Are you alone? Time for a Coke. Out with friends? Time for a Coke. The drink is portrayed as nostalgic and classic, a reminder of the good old days. But also at the same time, it's for the young and the cool. Ads have portrayed Coke as an American tradition, a part of our heritage. A Coke on the 4th of July is almost a patriotic act, but at the same time, if you live in China, you should have a Coke too. Over the years, Coca-Cola has dynamically tweaked, reinvented, revamped, and reoriented its brand to meet the times and expand to new markets. Today, Coca-Cola has not one, but two highly distinctive word marks that people all over the world recognize: the Spencer script Coca-Cola and the simplified Coke. Coca-Cola's word mark might be the most recognizable word mark in the world, spanning many imitators and parodies, such as these shirts sold in Italy that say Ciao Bella. For those of you who don't know, a letter mark is a kind of logo that contains letters. A word mark contains words, and a combination mark has words, letters, and an image. Word marks as logos have the advantage of containing the brand name and advantage not shared by pictorial marks and abstract marks. However, word marks are a little trickier to take international. As Coke expanded internationally, it faced stiff competition from domestically produced drinks that were often cheaper and healthier, not to mention familiar and beloved to the customer. So how did one little soft drink from Atlanta, Georgia manage to get into people's hands all over the world when so many other drinks have failed? Well, the Coca-Cola Corporation has done a lot of things, some more ethical than others, but in this video we will just be focusing on the branding. To win over the world, the brand has had to try to find the line between adapting its visuals to meet local tastes while not diluting its iconic image. Here's a fun drinking game. Pour yourself a rum and Coke and take a shot every time I say iconic in this video. Lucky for the Coca-Cola Corporation, Latin script is the most widely adopted writing system in the world. 36% of the world's population uses the Latin alphabet. For those countries that use the Latin alphabet, Coke has the opportunity to keep its word mark the same, although people may pronounce it differently according to the sounds in their language.
Coca Cola.
Coca Cola.
Coca Cola.
Coca Cola.
But for those countries that do not use the Latin script, the designers have had to get creative to adapt the word mark into different scripts. Chinese is written in logograms, which tend to take up less real estate than alphabets, so the Chinese word mark looks shorter than the English one. But it's rife with meaning, since each logogram is also a morpheme. The word mark is a whole clause in Chinese, which means to permit the mouth to be able to rejoice. Since Russian is written with an alphabet just like English is, this Cyrillic word mark is about the same length as the Latin script one. Remember how I said that there are 2 countries in the world without Coke? Well, I lied. Since the mass exit of Western companies from Russia in 2022, Russia is now without Coke. They've started making their own, Dobry Cola. And the design is familiar. Dobry means kind or welcoming. Interestingly, Cola is a common nickname for men named Nikolai. So this word mark can be translated as kind Nikolai. Imagine seeing your own name on a soft drink. Amharic is written with an abugida, in which consonantal vowel combinations are written with single characters, similar to logograms. It results in a shorter looking word mark on the can. As I was doing research for this, I noticed that in a lot of countries that do not use the Latin alphabet, Coca Cola still uses the original logo, but often with smaller modifications on the can. This definitely made me wonder why Coca Cola sometimes chooses to redesign the word mark for a new script, and why it sometimes just keeps the original when expanding overseas. Another thing I would like to know more about is what slogans Coca Cola uses in other countries. Do they translate the English language ones or develop new ones? One thing is sure, Coke is a brand that appreciates the power of a name brand. They have had to spend big bucks to keep control over their name in many legal battles in many places. One article in a linguistic journal dedicated to the study of names crowned Coca Cola as the most laud name in history. So it's quite a surprise that in 2011, starting in Australia, Coke started removing their iconic word mark off of cans. This risky marketing move replaced the word mark with anthroponyms, aka personal names. It was a risk that paid off. This savvy onomastic strategy, which ultimately would be rolled out in 80 nations, played right into people's primordial drive to see their own name written in print. Coke's share of the category rose by 4%. Consumption by young adults rose 7%. And in the USA, sales rose more than 2%, reversing more than 10 years of decline. Coca-Cola defaced and dethroned their own wordmark again in 2017, with toponyms printed on the labels as opposed to anthroponyms. But this wasn't as successful as the personal names. The story of this name has so many facets: the legal protection and control of names, how names can be adopted across languages, the trend of debranding, and the power of personal names. If you want to learn more about brand names, the legality of names, and the power of personal names, check out this channel. That is all that we do here. Other than drink Coke. We drink a lot of Coke. We do a lot of Coke. We should give the world a